That Radio, 1680 AM, Q4.org. Music, madness, and the menace. It's Black Dot Radio, y'all. Give it up. We got Ron Gray in the studio.
What's happening, y'all?
You know, I've been knowing Ron for a long time. James and I have been knowing Ron for a while. And never got the story of how Bushoong started.
Bushoong basically started 1995.
All right.
Mike and I, y'all call him Kemet. I call him Mike.
Yeah. Well, that's his real name, right?
Yeah. That's his government name.
Government.
That's his government name. But anyway, we want a contemporary jazz gig.
Okay.
And played this guy named Patrick Arnold, percussionist, vibe player, that whole bit.
Uh-huh.
So he walked out the room during rehearsal. We're getting ready for a gig, and he walked out the room, and me, Mike, and the drummer, a guy named Ed Mackle.
Okay.
We just started jamming. I think we started jamming like a Living Color tune or a Fishbone tune or something. So we kind of looked at each other like, sounds like a band to me. What you see, when I started off when I was playing when I was 11.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing on my mind. Cartoons, you know, whatever.
Right, I
didn't have that. So that first 7 to 8 years, everything I learned just stuck. So I was playing like tunes by Yes, and I play any song by Zeppelin and all that stuff. So there wasn't no big thing. And plus I came up playing jazz fusion and all that stuff. So all that stuff molded me to learn all these different techniques. When you see me playing all them notes, I learned that from playing John McLaughlin music and stuff like that. So that's where all that stuff come from. Way back in the old days. But my brother Daryl, his name is Daryl. We call him Daryl. We call him Daryl. He bought me my first guitar.
Okay.
But the thing was, I kind of already knew how to play, because back then we had little neighborhood bands. Wasn't no PlayStation, wasn't no internet. You couldn't do no copying and paste. You had to play music. You had to learn how to play music. So my first instrument was trumpet in the school band. I played trumpet for about a year in the school band. So we had a little band. We played James Brown and Sly Stone songs. I got bored because I didn't have nothing to bounce off of. I didn't know nothing about Miles Davis or Dizzy Gillespie, anything like that. So I kind of lost interest in it. But at the same time, one of the guys, like I was just saying about watching somebody play, and just watch one of the guys who was playing guitar, what he did, and I just saw him. I said, well, I could do it. I picked it up and just did it. I'm like, well, cool. I kind of liked it, so I just kind of started thumbing around on some of the guys' guitars in the neighborhood. My brother bought me the guitar. He was surprised that I knew how to play anything. I was like, well, I kind of dig it. So I took the top 2 strings off the guitar, tuned it down as low as I can get it. I started trying to learn bass lines on all the popular songs, right?
Okay.
I don't remember if it was him or my older sister Lynn who brought the Band of Gypsies album home.
Oh, classic. That was an album that really kind of just, I mean, it was already old when I got a hold of it, but I mean, it just totally like, wow, this is just completely amazing music, and Jimmy and those cats was just on it.
Yeah, so I'm going like, what kind of keyboard is that? I said, no, that's not a keyboard, it's a guitar. I said, no. What kind of keyboard is that making that sound? No, that's a guitar. That's a guitar play. I want to play guitar. That's what got me started.
When you were her in Band of Gypsies?
Yes. And that was it. I was like, oh, I got to learn how to do this. So I learned how to play Purple Haze. Oh, I was the baddest cat.
So would you say that Purple Haze?
Purple Haze was what? We start there.
Okay.
We start.
Right.
Purple Haze was one.
Purple Haze. All right.
Purple Haze.
That's
you couldn't come out the house back then if you didn't know how to play Purple Haze. That ain't Purple Haze. You don't know how to play Purple. You ain't gonna be no Jimi Hendrix. You can't play no Purple Haze. Besides what's being played on the radio, I got turned on to my Vishnu Orchestra when I was like 13 years old. So that started that whole thing. Those cats would talk about jazz cats. They would talk about Miles and Coltrane and all those. So okay, I'll go listen to some of that stuff. They would talk about all the cats that came before them, so forth and so on. So you go back and start listening to all that. Well, I like all this stuff too. Then you got the funk thing happening. Parliament was starting to happen. Ohio players and all that stuff was happening. So you digging all this stuff too. So I got all this stuff. So the 70s was just a time where, man, you just got all this influence coming in. So we were trying to play everything. You just had some cats that was into Earth, Wind and Fire. Some cats was into Black Sabbath. So we just tried to play whatever we could. Back then, we come home from school. Everybody's parents worked. There wasn't no such thing as unemployment back then.
Right.
So we come home from school. We got 3-4 hours to mess around, and make all the noise we want. So we play every day. We playing. So we learning. So you know, 6, 7 years, we out gigging. Yeah. Now, yeah, man. So the first gig, I tell you about the first gig I ever played was in the Catholic church.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do tell. Come on.
Yeah. I'm sorry you had to see what you had.
Back then, you had to, man, it cost an arm and a leg to go to the studio back then. Then you had to go get it pressed. That was just as more. Then you had to get a distributor.
Mastered, all of that.
All of that stuff. That's big money back then. Now you do it at home, you know.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff still exists, but everybody and their mama got a recording studio at home. Everybody and their mama got Pro Tools. Everybody and their mama got, you know,
but the thing
Bandcamp or whatever that thing is called.
You got Bandcamp, you got CD Baby, you got worldwide distribution, and you can get on iTunes and everything else. So now, if I was in my 20s, it's like, man,
tell me about
knuckle down, work hard on what you're doing. I put the work in.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then go hit the road, man. Go eat corn dogs and French fries, you know.
On the road.
And sleep in the van. Yeah, you can do it, but I'm 55 years old. I ain't sleeping in nobody's van. I usually don't talk about me all the time. 6 months ago, I had surgery for prostate cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I've been off the scene for a little while.
I didn't know that. Right?
Yeah, I don't really talk about stuff like. But I said maybe I should talk about it to get the word out to the brothers and everybody else. Go get screened. Don't sit around waiting until something happens to go to the doctor. I got diagnosed early. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any symptoms or anything. I would have never known if I didn't get a yearly checkups from there. I would have had no idea. Because I feel just as good as I did now.
You know, I'm glad you said that because I haven't been for a physical in 5 years.
Well, you need to go.
I need to go. I need to go. I need to go. So you're feeling good? No,
you're
feeling good. You're clear.
You see, I'm good.
Yeah. How do you feel about the local scene right now and as far as, you know, doing gigs and the you know.
You know, the whole vibe's changed in the last 10 years. You know, back then when, you know, 10, 12 years ago when you get booked for a gig, you had one band played all night. Now you got 3, 4, 5 bands playing. It's like, think about Chicago. Chicago bars just have music. It's really not a scene. It's not like Austin. It's really not like Austin, Texas or Nashville or New Orleans or nothing like that. When people come out to hear the bands. Mm-hmm. People now here in Chicago, they come out to the bar and it just happened to be a band playing. I always thought Chicago needed a music district, an arts district, where you had clubs. You can go from club to club to hear different bands and see different things, maybe even plays or whatever.
It's a pretty good idea.
Yeah, sure it is. You need that sort of thing to nurture the whole scene. But
now let me ask you that though, from what you're saying though. So you're saying you don't think the club owners and people of that ilk, they support music enough?
They couldn't care less. All they care about is selling beer.
Right now we're going to do 5 songs. Y'all ready?
Go!
Over the week, we've sent out a lot of emails and we posted on Facebook and all over the place. 5 songs that changed your life. What else you got on your list of 5 songs?
I'm thinking about Uncle Pecos. Y'all know Uncle Pecos?
Oh, wait, I know.
That's right, Crambo! Recent bands that kind of changed things around for me. St. Vincent.
Oh, okay, St. Vincent.
St. Vincent is, oh my God, that's the cool. I like what she does. And a couple weeks ago, Alabama Shakes was on Saturday Night Live.
Yes, I like Alabama Shakes.
And they did a song called "Give Me Your Love" or something like that. It's like, oh, Britney just went somewhere else on me. A lot of government music lately.
Okay.
It's kind of jazz, funk. I don't know how to describe it, but his name Will Bernard is his name, a jazz guitar player. A lot of that stuff. A lot of avant-garde kind of funk stuff. Avant funky acid jazz. I love acid jazz kind of stuff.
Let me do one of mine off of the list. My top 5 would have to be "When Doves Cry" from Prince.
Yeah.
I was already into Prince, but at that point, when Doves Cry came out, it just kind of like blew the lid off his career.
Okay.
That song, even like in hindsight, that song, the way that song was engineered was genius as well too. So that song right there really kind of kicked off my real interest into really digging deeper into the Prince whole thing. You know
Right.
what I mean? Another song on that list, on my list, is Peter Piper from Run DMC. You remember that?
I don't remember that. No.
Peter Piper, pick pepper, pick up rhyme, help me take the field down. That's his hard time. Chuck me nipple, what nipple? He was quick. You know what I mean? That was the joint, man. I'm telling you, man, that took me back. I mean, but see, the reason why I guess that song really, really opened me up because I think that was one of the first times that, well, hip hop was young, and you know, punk and rock was still doing this thing, but that was one of the first times that the hybrid came together, rock and hip hop, and Run DMC did it, and they did it with Aerosmith, they did it with, they did it with Slayer, and they did it with a whole bunch of different people, but you know, I guess Peter Piper was one of those songs that brought me to Run DMC. Run DMC brought me to some other things that,
that's
you know, some hybrid,
that's how it done. Yeah, that's
and
how
it just kind of, it just kind of shuffled on down.
Yeah, I can think how music changes somewhat, how it opens up different doors.
It does. It does. And it always comes from the least likely place. You know, and you never know what door that's going to open up in your mind.
I mean, it like I said, it's more about communication than chops or any of the other nonsense.
Exactly.
You know, they come to your shows, they buy your records, and they remember it for a lifetime. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.